Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, April 12th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. As people join in, I'm going to start marking up liquidity over here. So I got liquidity right there, there, there. Going down to the 8-hour time frame. Going down to the 4-hour time frame. Two-hour time frame. One-hour time frame. Going down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, so I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity down below is going to be at 38,388. Closest level above is going to be at 38,689. So those are the two closest levels of liquidity for today so far. Looking over here at our clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30, mark up 8 o'clock. On the 4-hour real quick, identify structure. So we have resistance up here, which is pretty far. And we have a pending support down here. Going down to the 1-hour. Resistance right here. And resistance right here. All right, so with that said, we have structure down below and some structure above. So we got the 4-hour support level. And we have the 1-hour resistance level. All right, so we're pretty much good for now. Let me go over here to the main chart, see if there's any news for today. There was news at 5:30, import-export prices, and then news at 7 o'clock. So 5:30 and 7 o'clock. 5:30, which was right there. and 7 o'clock, which is over here. All right, guys, market is going to open up in about a minute. Looking over here at the trend, we currently have a bearish trend, so we might be looking for a sell here for the PRB entry. There's no double body for the BV3, and it looks like price is bouncing off the support level. So, all right, guys, market is going to open in about 50 seconds. Got everything all set up here. See who's here so far. Morning, Maria. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Sadie. Happy Friday, Hawk. Definitely. All right, guys. So ATR right now is currently at 16, so it's a bit higher than usual. Well, higher than usual. It's been pretty high for the past 2 days, but it's pretty high right now for pre-market. So we'll see what happens here when the market opens. Market is currently at these sessions right here, so we'll see what happens next when the market opens up here in a few seconds, and then we'll go from there. Otherwise, looks like we are good to go, guys. So let's see where this market's going to take us today. So the volatility is starting to pick up here. Market is now open. Go to market 630 right there. That's going to be opening price. So there's no PRV setting up yet. There's also no double body, double wicks here for a buy. Price is kind of just sitting right there right now. All right, so that opening price right there. Currently have a bearish trend, so if price does swing back down below, we can possibly start looking for an entry here. But at this moment, it's currently in between a bunch of red flags. Well, not really a bunch, just the sessions right here and the opening price. So this could be a possible setup for a CV entry. The only problem with this here is that it's right at the opening price. Otherwise, price might dump down a little bit right here. Provide entry for a possible breakout V3 continuation. Only main issue here is that it's right at the sessions again. You can see price is rejecting directly off it. So no entries here yet. We will continue to follow along. If the trend starts to shift to the upside, that's completely fine. We start looking for a possible buy. Yeah, next it might be able to get an NPS if we get a bullish push. We're going to let the market stabilize. Yeah, same here. No need to rush. Today's Friday. As you guys know, Friday is one of the riskier days to trade. Mondays and Fridays are risky because on Mondays, people are entering the market from the weekend, and on Friday, people are exiting the market for the weekend. So you get a lot of spikes of volatility, not much consistency throughout the day. You'll get a lot of volatility early on and a lot of volatility at the end, but in the middle, it kind of flattens out a bit. So right now it's currently 54% short. This makes it neutral with regard to retail sentiment. Looking over here at fundamentals, fundamentals are currently down 200 points. As you can see from the breaking news right here, CNBC just posted Dow falls more than 200 points as inflation concerns persist. JP Morgan drops. So not really too much here to, really work with at the moment. So we get a confirmation of trend. We have Michigan consumer sentiment coming up at 7 o'clock. That's going to be high impact news. So kind of hoping to get some entries before that, before the market starts to get a little crazy around that time. So we don't have a trend here now. The level 4 pivot is now in the middle of the other pivots. So there's no trend confirmed here. If price continues to climb up, then great. If not, then, we'll continue to follow it here. This right here is a CV pattern. It's not a CV entry because we don't have a trend right here, but this can also be setting up for a breakout V3 entry. We're getting that double body rejection right there. There's no trend, so we can't look for any regular scalps. We also can't look for any PRBs. The only thing here that we can possibly look for, if you're looking to take anything that's available at the moment, would be the breakout V3, because we do have the double body that's pending right there. We'll see if there's, a sell signal that comes up. But you guys can see there's not much movement here. Price is kind of just going back and forth. It's going back right back to opening price right here. So just gotta sit tight, let the market stabilize a bit. Once it stabilizes, we'll look for some entries here. There's not really much of a trend yet, so just gotta keep following along. So there is a pending sell signal right here. If the sell signal closes, this could be a possible setup for the breakout V3. Otherwise, just gotta keep waiting. All right, price is rejecting directly off the opening price right here. Again, this is another reason why we don't trade at the red flags, right? Here's a clear example. Price came down, it had a pending sell signal, rejected directly off the blue line, which is opening price, and then it shot right back up. That's why you don't trade around these points. You don't trade at any horizontal lines that go left to right. Pink line, news price. Blue line, opening price. Green line, New York session high low. Purple line, Asia high low. Red line, London high low. It's pretty simple, just any of these lines here. If your entry comes up around the lines, don't even bother to even think about taking a trade there because you'll get manipulated like you just did right here. And it happens all the time. It's a reason why I draw these lines too. These lines aren't here for any random reason. They're there for a specific reason. So there's a pending sell signal right here. Again, if your guys are looking for the breakout V3, this is still setting up for the breakout V3 for anybody who is looking to take it. I'm not going to take it because I'm sticking to my game plan, which is higher probability scalps. But if you guys do want to take it, of course, I'll mark it up for you guys. And there's a sessions right there too. Yeah, exactly. Akil said now there's a sessions right there. That's another red flag. So I'm going to be a little more careful. The problem with the breakout V3 is that it doesn't take into consideration the red flags. And that's a big problem because these red flags are very dangerous to trade around. So not exactly the place you want to be taking any trades for me personally. And I think that was a problem. So I think that was a problem with the BB3 guys is that we just never, it was just too, it was too relaxed. Like there was no edge for that specific strategy. The strategy was good, but there was just no edge because you would take the trades when there's news, you take the trades when there's no news. And that's what made it a problem because when it started losing a lot, that was because there was news around that time. And there was a lot of sessions around that time, and it was just a big issue. So for me, I think the BB3 is still a good strategy. If you guys sat in on the live session yesterday, I kind of mentioned a little trick where you can take the opposite move on certain times. And the opposite move is currently running at an 8-win streak right now. So yeah, there's no confirmation of trend yet here. So there's no entries for us to take with regard to any of our normal scalps. And then also same here with the PRB. Breakout V3 never came up. Still no entry there. Looks like price is attempting to be bullish, but we'll see what happens here in the next few moments or so. We currently have a new high right here. So this is currently now the new range. And this is going to be the 1 minute resistance level. 1 minute. Resistance level. So this is the current range consolidation right now. It's bouncing between, it's basically sitting around opening price and it's going back and forth between the 4-hour support and the 1 minute resistance. Pretty clear. I mean, liquidity is pretty far off, so it's not anywhere near, at least not yet. And you can see where price is having trouble getting past, right? The opening price right here. Pretty normal. Here goes price pushes back up higher. This could have been a nice CB entry, but like I said, the trend hasn't confirmed yet, or like Rashida said as well. There's a low here with the red candle. There's a smaller green candle right here. This would have been a full TP for it, and there's a red flag there as well. But this would have been a nice entry for a CB entry right there. So there goes that. Next, it just has to push out of this area, then we'll have some space to make trades. Feels like it wants to push back to the news from 5:30. Yeah, I agree. That's the target price point. So if price climbs up, the news right here from 5:30 is where price is likely to push to. And that's kind of what we're looking for as price moves up higher. Looking at the news from this morning, so the news was pretty much mixed, positive and negative. Import prices were positive, export prices were negative. And I mean, there we go. Price is pushing back up to that point. So it jumped pretty heavily right here at 5:30. 5:30 price came straight down, never came back up yet. So that's going to be the target price point for us to look at. All right, so there's no double body there anymore for the VB3. There's no trend yet, so there's no PRV. Liquidity hasn't gotten hit yet. Clean chart over here, price is attempting to reach the resistance level. So we'll see if price breaks this zone, retests, and climbs up higher from there. All right. That's scenario number one. There's no trend, so there's no MPS here either yet. But I mean, MPS could be setting up, as you guys know. Another double body here for a possible breakout V3. But again, price is going to have trouble getting past the opening price, which is where it's been stuck at for the past couple minutes. Nice. Rashida said she caught a sell pre-market. Yeah, pretty solid. I was playing around with the Super Dom earlier this morning. I actually took a couple of sells in there too, and it played out nice. All right, so as you can see, price isn't going anywhere. It's easier to see here on the clean chart. There's just nothing going on. Price just goes back and forth, sits in between in the middle, and we're just waiting for a trend here to confirm. All right. So the volatility is, I mean, the ATR is pretty high, but there's not really much movement, as you guys can see here. Volatility is currently at 26 ATR, but there's not any direction. Price just going back and forth. So if it keeps going back and forth like this, I think the ATR will start to die down a bit. Probably not right now, but in a few. We have a pending sell signal here. This could be setting up for a breakout V3, but again, right there, it's having trouble getting past this opening price, and it looks like it might just keep pushing up higher from where it's currently at. Yeah, there's just nothing going on here. Let me check CNBC real quick. Any updates? No updates here. See JP Morgan Chase top estimates, tops estimates on better than expected credit costs, trading revenue. Yeah, nothing here. Nothing really useful, at least not yet. All right, pending sell signal right here. This could be setting it for a breakout V3. Again, price is trying to pass the opening price, having trouble right there at that blue line. Pretty normal. So you can see it clear right here on the clean chart. You can see how price attempts to get past this blue line here, which is opening price. This is why we avoid opening price typically for entries. Because the last thing you want to do is take an entry and then it just bounces directly off and it goes opposite. This is a possible setup for a CD entry. The only problem is that it's touching opening price, just like I said. So obviously it's not one that I would take. If this green candle here closes smaller than this red, this would be set up as a CB entry. But it looks like it's not going to, or it might at the last second. No, it's not going to. So no CB entry here, plus it was at a red flag, which would have been avoided. All right, so we're getting some heavy consolidation here. This is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because a breakout's going to happen. It's a bad thing because a breakout's going to happen. So if you're in a position, it's really tricky. So this is why we don't like to trade when price is consolidating, because once it's done consolidating, it's going to break out. Eventually, it's going to squeeze and it's going to break out to the upside, or it's going to squeeze and it's going to break out to the downside, one or the other, right? So it's a good thing because the breakout's coming. It's a bad thing if you're in a position because the breakout can happen against you. So this is why we don't like trading when price is consolidating like this, because that's what will happen. You get caught up in a trap, and then once the trap is done trapping, you're going to be either happy or you're going to be sad because it's going to hit your TP or it's going to hit your stop loss. It's just trapping right here. It's getting stuck in this trap. All right, so if it continues dropping from here, this could be a possible breakout V3 entry. I'm not taking the trade, but again, like I said, this is going to be a breakout V3 entry that I'll mark up for you guys. If it closes red, if it doesn't close red and it has a double body here, then there's going to be another double body in the opposite direction, which might be the case here. Yep, Andrew said fake out right at the blue line, right? This is why we don't trade at the sessions. We don't trade at the opening price because fake outs happen right there. And there goes a huge fake out right there. It does not look like it's going to close red, so there's not going to be a breakout V3 there. It's another CB setup right there, CB entry if this candle closes smaller than the red one, but there's no trend and it's right at a red flag. So this is a CB setup. Looks like. Yeah. So this right here would be considered a CB setup, but again, it's at a red flag, and then also there's no trend confirmed. So it's not a trade that you would necessarily take, but this is the pattern that you're looking for. You're looking for a double body, double wick with a second candle, which is smaller than the first. And this typically indicates that the move has not completed. And you can see right there, the CB would have hit full TP if it was a CB entry that we would have taken. So unfortunately, it's not one that we could have taken, but I just wanted to show you guys. This is why this strategy would be, well, that's why it's called the consolidating variation, because it works well in consolidating markets. So price here is consolidating, and you can see right there that CB would have been perfect if you would have taken it and if it was meeting criteria, because we are in a consolidating market right here. Yeah, Kill said, wouldn't mind for BV3 for a buy. Yeah, I think it'd be good. There's no trend yet, so I can't take it as a continuation, but this could be a possible BV3 for a buy here. Looks like, or not. We'll see how this candle here closes. It's just stuck within its range here. So if this candle closes green, this is going to be a breakout V3 for a buy. Otherwise, you can see over here, price is just stuck within this area. It looks like price might fake out again right here and then pull right back into the range. Yep, and that looks like what's happening here. Little fake out, swing back down. This is like another CB pattern. Not one you would take, it's against the trend or estimated trend. But yeah, again, possibly another CB pattern right there. So yeah, it's not looking like this BB3 is going to close unless it shoots up at the last second, which could happen. There's 13 seconds left on this candle. These candles are moving a little blocky, so I mean, it's going to easily just shoot up at the last couple seconds, which I highly doubt at this point. So I'm going to take this off, no entry there. And here we go, back into the range consolidation. So just a little fake out up here. Price goes back and forth, a little fake out, and then it came right back down. Let's see, question from Madhu. Madhu's asking, do you go based off the body size or do you factor the wicks too? Just the body size, Madhu. The wicks are going to be kind of irrelevant because sometimes they'll be like super big or super small. So just the body size. You just want to make sure the body size, because what you're looking for, and this is the logic behind it, like I said in the past, is you're looking for basically an imbalance. You're looking for an imbalance where price is looking to correct. So for example, if you get a big candle, say the first candle is big and say this candle is really small, right? You're expecting this to fill the rest of this candle, like the little imbalance of the big candle that happened before it. So you're just trying to catch that little scalp where it fills that point. And that's why you're looking for just the body. Because the wick could be empty and then the wick will still be filled as price continues to push through it on the next candle. So that's kind of the logic behind the strategy. And I'm sure you've seen it before. It's like whenever you see a big spike up, like you see something like this, right? Big spike up, and then you see a small candle right here, right? What do you expect to happen right here? You expect price to continue filling that little imbalance that happened from this huge candle right here. Something like that. And that's my logic behind it, because I'm sure you guys have seen that before. You see like a crazy big candle, then it comes down slightly, and then you're like, okay, is price going to go up or is price going to go down? Odds of this coming down are very likely. It might come up a little bit to like trick people, and then it comes right back down to fill this big candle that came up. And that's the logic. And that's why I'm trading in the direction of the trend, so that I have some sort of, at least some sort of confidence that I'm trading in the proper direction. But technically, you could trade this in both directions. I've tried the strategy in both directions and it works. The only problem is that sometimes it doesn't work, right? And that's where it becomes an issue, because you want something that's high probability if you're trading something that's negative risk to reward. So if there's a way I can make it a one-to-one, then yeah, you can trade both directions, which you possibly could. You just have to adjust the TP stop loss. But this type of markets, for consolidating markets, it's best to just take it partial, or not partial, but smaller CP. So there's still nothing here yet. The trend hasn't confirmed. Once the trend confirms, possibly we'd start looking for an entry here. Yeah, there still is no trend here. There's no longer a double body, double wick, the breakout B3. No PRV yet. We got news coming up here at 7 o'clock, high impact. See, Kenny said Ninja didn't trigger TP, so be careful, guys. Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll make sure to flatten it all if it gets close to where it gets to my TP when I'm taking entry. Akil's asking, have you tested a 10-10 TP stop loss for CV, Sean? Not really. I mean, it will probably work, but not with these types of market conditions, because it's price tends to spike around a bit. So like sometimes the entry will come up, it'll retrace down a little bit. I think the 10-10 might be a little too tight. You might be able to do a 10-15. 10-15, because you just need a little bit of space. A 10-15 might work depending on the ATR, or you can just go based off ATR. Like if ATR is 28, you can do like 28-28, or you can round it to the nearest whole number, like 25-25 or 30-30. I'd probably round it back to like whatever the lower whole number is. So like, for example, ATR here is 29. I would probably do a 25-25 for this specific ATR. If the ATR is like 24, I would do 20-20. If the ATR is like 19, I'll do 15-15. That's how I do it. Because the ATR is going to tell you, like, if you're going for a 10-point TP stop loss, it's going to be good for your TP, but not good for your stop loss, because if it goes the opposite way, it'll probably like stop you out. So you kind of just have to base it off the ATR, because the ATR is telling you how price is moving right now. So yeah, that's why we typically use like a 10-30, because the ATR is usually never over 30. So it gives you enough, safety net for it to kind of retrace back before it hits your TP. And then same with the 25, it's just a little tighter, but same difference. Yeah, Nick said you could probably do a 5-15 if you wanted to just take the pattern whenever it comes up. Yeah, I think that'd probably be the safest route, like what Nick said, because it typically goes at least 5 points. So it's going to like hit your TP and then you're out. And then you just keep taking all of them, right? It's kind of similar to like rejections off the pivots here. Like there's another strategy that I've used in the past and something that like, Sisuk here has used too. I'm not sure if he's in here right now. No, Sisuk's probably sleeping. But Sisuk had this strategy where I kind of showed it to him in the past where we just take rejections off the pivots. Price will come down, swing up, take it down for a quick 5-10 points, comes back up, 5-10 points, comes up 5-10 points. Because 5-10 points is very, very small. And you can catch like every little rejection off the pivots. That's like how you would see Sisuk make like, like a ton of profits in one day, but he'd have like 100 trades because he would take every rejection off the pivot. That's more of an advanced way of trading. I'll probably teach that to, I've been telling people I'll probably teach that at some point. It's not a hard way to trade, but you have to have like discipline because it's really easy to revenge trade at that point. All right, so we currently have a bearish trend now, guys. With the bearish trend right here, we might be able to set up for a PRB and also a MPS entry. It's just at the sessions right now, so it's kind of tricky. Yeah, the MPS could be setting up. Well, not here, of course. It's right at the sessions. Yeah, Maria said 5 points in Apex and commissions, and spread doesn't work. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's the commissions and the spread are it just wouldn't work out. You'd be paying so much in commissions. So we have the MPS coming up, guys, but we also have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. I'm not going to take any entries from now until then because that's going to be one of the red flags. So typically, as you guys know, when there's news coming up, we usually don't trade 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after. So I'm probably going to sit out for any entries here because we got news coming up in about 5. Yeah, and there's the sessions right there anyways. All right, it's all good. We'll wait for the next one. And we got news right here in about 5 minutes. Let's see, CJ's asking, hey, Sean, would that be a valid high-level momentum entry at 652 since the higher high is the momentum signal? Yeah, it would be. Here, let me check real quick. So you said 652, but yeah, that does meet criteria. So this here wouldn't be an entry because so the higher high is right here, and this candle already broke and closed past it. But if this was the momentum signal, or if there's a higher high with the momentum signal, it would meet the criteria. This is the one you're talking about, right? Because it already broke past it right here on this previous red candle, CJ. So this one, I mean, pretty much be invalid at that point because it would have to break and close with the momentum signal right there. So, I mean, yeah, if this didn't happen, so if this candle here didn't break and close past it, and this was the candle that would, then this would have been an entry. But it would go into a red flag right here, which is opening price. Yeah, I know sometimes it's hard to tell because you just like focus so much on the momentum, you don't even look back. And this candle right here broke past it. It's all good. Happens all the time. So this right here would have been the momentum pullback scalp entry, guys. It would have hit TP, but it was right at the session, so obviously wouldn't have taken it. We had a sell. Actually, let me take that back. It actually, yeah, it wouldn't have happened until like right here, but then it'd be right in between the sessions. So again, it's still one that we wouldn't have taken. And you guys can see over here that this is why and there's news as well. So let me check the news real quick. Let me see what's forecasted. So the news over here for high impact, it's forecasted to be negative. So last month it was 79.4. They're forecasting it to be 79. They're forecasting the news here to be negative. So you can see over here, you're having a pre-news effect in the market. A lot of people here are trying to do the opposite. They're trying to take the buys because they're expecting it to be manipulated. And that's typically what happens. Or what happens here is price gets manipulated a little bit to the upside. And then when the news happens over here at 7 and it's negative, it's going to come right back down. So probably a correction back down when the news actually gets released, because the news is forecasted to be negative right here. Lower than last month. So we'll see what happens here. There's no, I mean, there's a bearish trend here, but there's not going to be anything we can take because we do have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. The good thing is that the ATR is still pretty high. So there's still opportunity here for possible entries when time happens or when it provides opportunity. Yeah, we just gotta sit tight. So a lot of these strategies, they can be traded in both directions, like the breakout V3 continuation. When I first tested it, it works in both directions. But like I said, if you're doing a negative risk reward strategy, you have to take stuff that's high probability. So for example, here we had a sell signal followed by a red candle, and this here would have hit, but it was against the trend. So not one that I would personally take myself. Same with this one right here. We had a buy signal with a green candle. This would have been a breakout V3 continuation pattern, not one I would take because it's against the trend. Again, right here, there's another one where there's a breakout V3, and then you see the negative, huge candle right there. Pretty sure the news is negative. Yeah, the news was negative just like expected. And that's just the manipulation that I was just referring to. So price manipulated up real quick just so that it can come back down and fill this gap right here. And it's coming right back down, which is not a surprise because you already knew it was going to be negative. Did exactly what typically happens when news comes out. And this is why we try to avoid news as much as possible, because when you trade news, you don't really have control over where price is going to go. Price can really go in either direction. So now we just gotta wait for price to react to news, stabilize a little bit. Once it stabilizes, then we'll start looking for some possible entries. But right now, we're gonna sit tight and just wait for this here to play through. All right. Yeah, Kill said hope price moves away from the sessions. Yeah, same here. Well, I mean, that's kind of the best option here. Price move away from the session to the upside or to the downside. Doesn't really matter which direction, but as long as it moves away from the sessions and all of these red flags right here. So we might get a bullish push here and provide us opportunity for entry on the way up to previous news price up here. But there's just nothing here right now. The pivots haven't confirmed, so there's no trend. There's no double body, double wick, so we'll be here for the breakout V3. Here's a clean chart. As you guys can see, price hasn't, realistically, price hasn't gone anywhere. So if you look at price over here, it's kind of hard to tell, but if you go to our clean chart, you can see that price has actually not gone anywhere. Price has been within this range since market open. So market opened right here at 6:30, price pushed down, faked out, came up, faked out right here, fake out right there, fake out right there, another fake out. And it just keeps going back and forth between the 1 minute resistance and the 4-hour support. So price hasn't really gone anywhere. We still have a bearish trend though. So we still have a bearish trend. This can be a possibility for an entry here for a sell if something comes up, but at this moment, there's just nothing here. Yeah, Kenny said I'd rather take a buy to sweep all liquidity to the upside, and we're bouncing off support. Yeah, same here. I mean, personally, yeah. But the thing is, yeah, like you said, I'll take what I can get. That personally, that's what I would prefer. But I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing, right? A lot of people are probably thinking, oh, price is at the support, so it's going to have to bounce up. So price might just go the opposite and push down, especially because the news for today was negative, the high impact news. So if it does correct, it's probably going to correct to the downside. But I mean, who knows, right? We really don't know because it's in this area where we can't really trade in. We currently have a sell signal that's pending right here. If the sell signal closes, this could be setting up for a breakout V3 continuation to the downside. We do have a bearish trend, so we'll see about that. Looking over here at the PRB, we actually have a PRB setting up. It's not ready yet, but it's setting up. We have the rejections right here off the pivots. We just need to have that space consolidation candle and then a possible continuation to the downside. But you can see right here, price is having trouble getting past the sessions. Again, this is why we don't trade around this area. We need price to push away from it. The question from Nicholas. Nicholas said, do you think it would make sense to not consider sessions as red flags after a certain time, like 30 minutes after open, because people had stops close to sessions would have already, no. So the sessions are, this is key price points for institutions to trade at. So it doesn't matter if prices already touch them. This is still areas where algos trade. So you can see, I mean, it doesn't matter when or where you look at the sessions. Like you can see over here, this is pre-market. Price is just bouncing off it, right? Because that's where bank algos trade. They like to trade because this is like the number where they like to make their movements at. This is where the entries come in. So you can see our price kind of goes sideways for a bit and then it finally pushes away from it, right? Same with this right here. Price pushes in a sideways movement and then it pushes away from it. Again, right here, price again is moving in a sideways movement and then eventually it will push away from it. The sessions aren't meant for retail traders. The sessions are meant for algos and institutions because that's where they trade. They like to trade at whole numbers where price reached in the past. So that's typically where they like to trade at. And that's why it's avoided. Like we avoid it because that's where manipulation happens. Not manipulation from retail traders, but manipulation from the bigger players in the game. But that's usually where they trade. You know, if they trade a daily candle or if they trade like a daily move or something like that, they typically look for these whole numbers. That's if you look at the sessions, look at where price pushes from, right? This is the session from Asia from the previous day. Where does it push to? The New York session, right? The New York session, this was set up from yesterday. This wasn't set up today. This was set from yesterday. This is yesterday's New York low. So you can see the Asia price over here. It kind of consolidates here for a bit and it goes straight down. So it doesn't matter the time of the day that you're trading. This is where the banks and stuff trade. So you can see the Asia high right here. Where does it push from, right? It pushes from this Asia high to this Asia low right there. So yeah, I don't think the sessions should ever be ignored. I made the mistake of ignoring it when we were taking the BB3s previously. And, you know, obviously the sessions had a big play in it because we got caught in a lot of fake outs at those points. So yeah, I mean, short answer to your question is I think the sessions are more important than opening price. Opening price is probably not that important and news price is probably not that important, but the sessions are for sure something that you should pay attention to. That's why I created a whole indicator just for it, so that we don't trade at those points. Let's see. Yeah, so it's after 7 already, guys. Sorry, it's after 7, so there's no longer any PRB. Thanks, guys, for the heads up. I keep forgetting that the cutoff for the PRB 7, and it's already past 7, so no PRB there. This could be setting up for a breakout V3 though. Breakout V3 continuation. So if this candle here closes red, this will be a breakout V3 continuation. See what it's looking like. All right, if it closes, I'll take this as a breakout V3 continuation. I'm gonna try to take it on the super dom. Actually, I take that back. This candle might be a little too big. That was a huge spike. You guys see the spike right there? It came down and it spiked up. The candle was going to be too big anyways for me to take it. Actually, okay, if the candle closes a little smaller, I'll take this here as a breakout V3. Continuation. All right. So the position is filled right there. All right, full TP on that right there, guys.
Order filled.
Oh my God, the slippage was fucking crazy on that one. I don't know what happened. The slippage was insane on that trade. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The slippage was just freaking crazy on that trade. I'll show you guys my trade, but the slippage for my copiers at least. Okay, so that's probably what happened. Rashida said it only filled 2 contracts. LOL, slippage is crazy. Yeah, it looks like it only filled for a couple of mine too, because I got 1,000 on my main one, but then I got like 300 on every other account. I mean, it's all good. Yeah, I was on the DOM though. I actually really like the Super DOM. So thanks to whoever recommended that. The DOM is actually really nice because the execution is a little better. Um, I feel like it's kind of sluggish on the chart. So full TP right there for the breakout V3 continuation is a possible MPS that's setting up right here too. See, the MPS might happen right here at the 40 mark, it looks like. I mean, it's kind of tricky where price is moving right now. MPS might happen at the 30. I missed it. So I couldn't get into the MPS here, guys. I mean, it's all good. It was moving too fast. I couldn't really follow right where it was going to close. I wasn't sure if it was going to close at the 30, if it was going to close at the 40. I'm just not going to take it. It's just too late. I don't want to FOMO into the move since it's already kind of running. It's probably going to hit, but I'm not going to FOMO into it. So the entry happened right here, technically at the 30 mark. It just was moving too quick. I think whenever the candles are just moving too quick and too close to the prices, I'm just gonna not take it because the last thing I want to do is enter too early and then I end up getting caught in some drawdown, or price ends up pushing too high and then I end up getting caught in a mess as well. I mean, this is probably gonna hit, but the candles here are they're super choppy. Like the volatility is pretty crazy on these two candles. These past 5 candles, basically. This was a huge candle. This was a huge candle. This was a super huge candle. And then now you're getting like these big spiky candles that are coming through right here. So I think that's going to be something that we might want to look for when we're trading something like the MPS, because the last thing you want to do is get in at a wrong price. Either get in at a wrong price or kind of get caught in, a spiky candle. Yeah, exactly. Nick said volatility is probably too high for an MPS anyways. I think it was super quick. Yeah, because this is probably going to hit, and it looks like it's about to hit right here. It's just the volatility is way too high right now. Yeah, and it hit right there for sure. So if you guys took it, I mean, nice work. I didn't take it, but yeah, the volatility is just way too high right now. Yeah, Kenny said he's been taking the MPS at the green pivot lately. It's been working great. Yeah, that's something that I've well, that goes hand in hand with the other strategy that I was kind of referring to, that me and Sisu would apply or other people would apply. Um, that might be the case. I mean, it might be the case where for the MPS, instead of looking for a rejection off price point, we could probably just look for rejection off the pivot, because I feel like the prices, when it's moving too fast, it makes it impossible for you to get in at the MPS price, right? Because like, for example, here, this candle was moving up and down between like above 30 and below 30. So I wasn't sure if the entry was going to happen at the 40 mark or the 30 mark. If we would have just waited for it to push up to the pivot, I mean, that probably would have been more ideal. So we'll see. I mean, we'll take a look at it, and if that's the case, then might be a little better. Nice work, Jeff. Jeff caught it right there too. And let me take a screenshot of my profits for the day. Man, I wish I was hoping I could get rid of my Apex PA accounts, but they're still there. It's kind of annoying. So let me just take a screenshot of my profits for the day and I'll show you guys where I'm currently at. I mean, profit's profit. I can't complain. especially on a crazy day like this. Weird. All right, 1 second. 1 second. I gotta log in, log out of my Ninja Trader again. Then I gotta set it back up. So I was trying to figure out how to remove my old PA accounts, but it just wouldn't let me. And then now I was like, it told me I had a wrong password. So now I gotta set up my whole Ninja Trader setup all over again. Next accounts on here. There it goes. I don't understand Ninja Trader sometimes. It always gives me like weird errors like that. And I'm sure you guys get it too. Like I like the platform, but I feel like it's kind of buggy sometimes. I use my mouse. Jesus. And I wish there was a faster way to set up your freaking copier. Like when you have 20 accounts, it takes forever because you have to put in contract size, you gotta enable every account. I wish there was a button that just said enable all. And then you could just disable whichever one you don't want. All right, copier setup. Sure, YM. There's no other entries coming up, guys, so don't worry. You guys are not missing out on anything here. Everything here in order. All right, I am back and good to go. All right, so let me go over here and just let me clean it up a little bit. Entry happened right here at 7:08 for the breakout V3 continuation. So this is the breakout V3. And then this one next bit, which was the MPS 710. All right. So there are no other entries here right now. Got everything all set up. Here are my profits. You guys will see my profits look kind of crazy. So here are my profits for the day. I made 1,000 on my main account. This is what I was supposed to make. And then all my other accounts made 300. So basically 300 times 19 plus 1,000. So I made 6,700 for the day so far. That's basically where I'm at. So no entry here. I know there's a CV that could have been setting up, but it's not looking like it. Let me just scroll up real quick. Just want to make sure there's nothing here that I'm missing. Hawk is asking if there was a CV pattern at 7:14. let me see. I'll just replay it real quick. We have some time here. So there's no CV pattern there because it has to be at a low. So yeah, there's no. Let me go over here real quick. Yeah, so there's no low here. So there's no low or no high. So it has to be at a high low. So that wouldn't be a CV pattern there. Okay, thanks for answering the question. It looks like you guys already answered this question. This might be a CV pattern right here. All right, Randy, you're done for the day. Still like 30 seconds left on it. All right, so this right here might be a no. So yeah, got a little too excited right there, but no CV pattern right there. I mean, it might if it closes red. If it's like this and it's so tight at the very last second, I'm not going to take the trade. Damn, I should have fucking taken it. It's okay. And it would hit TP right there too, it looks like. Yeah, it's just a little too close. I mean, it was close because you guys saw how this candle was moving. It was kind of going back and forth. But this here would have been a CV pattern. It just whenever it's too close like that and it's like at the very last 5 seconds, I'm not going to risk it because at that point you can get in at either a good entry or possible bad entry. This is probably going to hit though. I think it'll hit. See, 720 right now. The volatility isn't necessarily super flat yet, but it is getting there. Yeah, full TP right there. If anybody took the CV entry, it's all good. Not looking to FOMO between trades. I think the best part about going back to our old trading style, guys, is the fact that we're not getting FOMO anymore, right? I feel like a lot of people, like it kind of forced you to take every single trade when we took the breakout V3, and you didn't really think very much. Like you would take a trade and then it would and you didn't really think about it. You would just take it. So you wouldn't take it. You wouldn't really look back to see if there's any confluences. You wouldn't look back to see if there's any red flags. And I think now this is kind of teaching us to be a little more patient with the entries. Nice. So Akil caught it and Jeff caught it. Nice work, guys. I wish I would have caught it. I was just waiting for it to close and it didn't look like it was going to come down and it came down at the very last second, which is all good. I'm glad you guys are locking it in. That's key right there. So another entry right here, like I said, for the CV, and I'll put this in the stats so that you guys can see and you guys know exactly how these are looking like. So you guys have examples for the CV entry. So actually, all three entries came up today. So we had the trifecta, right? This is the trifecta of strategies: breakout, V3 continuation, momentum pullback scalp, and then now the consolidation variation. So you guys can see right here, that's 3 back-to-back wins, guys. And this is like all you need. If you can take if you take 3 wins a day, that's a lot of profit. Like that's pretty smooth, right? For a day of trading. This you would have made more trading these strategies and taking the BV3. Because for the BV3, you would only go for what is it? 25 points. And if you took all 3 entries here, this would have been 30 points. You actually would have made more profit versus just applying the BV3 by itself. So yeah, CJ said, yeah, made up for the 2 days of no entries this week. Yeah, exactly. So this is why I like doing this because there's more profit potential trading this way versus just trading one strategy a day. I mean, in a sense, one strategy a day sounds nice, but you're kind of leaving money on the table, especially when there's the ability to take different scalps. So I know a lot of people, they just want to be lazy and they want to take like one strategy a day that's super simple, but that's not trading, right? If you guys have been trading for a while, and I'm kind of glad that I kind of woke up and, some sense got knocked into me when he started going into those losing streaks with the BB3, is that there's no real edge with the BB3. But the BB3, it's a good strategy if you know how to find an edge. The edge might be to be trading it opposite, but realistically, there's no actual edge with the BB3 if you're just applying it as is, right? It's just a basic strategy that works, but you have to take it for a long period of time for it to really balance out. Like I said, it's a 50-50% strategy. So your main goal is really to just have like a little basket of wins at the end of the year. But when you're scalping like this, you'll have like a bunch of wins and like no losses. You might have a loss here and there, but it's going to balance out because your loss is only 25 points. So yeah, no, definitely nice work, guys. Yeah, Patricia said the CVs off the pivot rejections are great. Yeah, so you can use like another confluence like that too, especially another thing too, if you see a CV and it's a double body, I think the double body, double wicks are a lot stronger than the regular candles. So if you see a double body, double wick, and it's a smaller candle like that, and it did exactly what I had mentioned earlier, right? The logic behind the strategy is you see the reversal pattern, but you don't see this candle push down to fill this candle right here, right? And that's exactly what happened. The price pushed up, you had a small candle right there, and it pushed down to fill this green candle right there, which gave you enough space to hit your TP. So everything I do, there's logic behind it, guys. Like I don't just create strategies because for random stuff. Like I don't just create random strategies. Like everything I do and everything I apply, there's some sort of logic that goes into play. Like I've seen these patterns come up and I'm like, okay, how do I teach these patterns to you guys? This is the easiest way. It's like looking for a high here, looking for a reversal pattern, and then looking for a small candle that hasn't filled this one, and it comes down and fills it. Because back in the day, I used to trade like this. This is like one way I would trade. I used to be a news trader, so I would only trade news. And I mean, it wasn't the best thing to do, but you guys have seen where like news candles will come up. So I think the news candle came up here at 7 o'clock, right? Okay, so perfect, like this, for example. So price pushed up right here. Price came down and then it pushed up. If I was trading news, I would take the sell here because I would have said, oh, there's a huge wick right here. This wick needs to be filled, right? And I would have just taken this drop down here. Like when I first started trading, I used to trade only news because I didn't know how to trade and I only saw like certain things. I would literally wait for news events to come up and I'd look for these huge wicks and I look for the correction. There's another CV pattern right here too. I don't know if you guys noticed this. It's against the trend, but like I said before, these CV patterns, they work in both directions. If you can figure out a way to make it a one-to-one or as close to one-to-one as possible, you can see there's another CV right here. It's a double body rejection, a small green candle. You can see this pretty much just fills this red candle right here. And that gives you enough space to catch your 100 point or your 10 points. So you could have taken even more entries here if you want to take CVs in both directions. I don't recommend it to beginners. If you're an experienced trader and you guys know what I'm talking about, then feel free to identify CVs in both directions because the way that I originally created the strategy was in both directions. Yeah, exactly. So Nicholas said Apex is not suitable for strategies that need a long time to balance out. I agree. For Apex, I think this trading style is the best way to do it because you're in and out super quickly with profits, and then you don't get caught with any drawdown, right? Because the problem with like if you want to take a strategy that has like say, um, say like a 3-to-1 restore, right? So sometimes people will trade 3-to-1 restore, but there's no problem with that. It's fine. Some people want to trade something like this, right? And you guys have seen it before. Everybody does this. They try to do a 3-to-1 restore. This is where it'll kill your account because on Apex, you can go in a profit. And then if it comes down from here and hit your stop loss, this is kind of what happened to us last week. It basically counts as 2 losses if you're in your eval stage or if you're not at your threshold. And this will like literally kill your account. You can be in profit and it'll still blow your account. Like say, for example, your trailing drawdown is like 10 points, right? Price pushes up, you're in profit, but you don't close. And then price ends up pushing up higher and then it comes right back down to your break even. You're basically blowing your account. So yeah, I think our original way of trading works a lot better for scalping or for Apex in general, because this is a type of this is the type of strategy that you need where you can get in and out very quickly. Yeah, CJ said, looking back at our data for the past 2 years, the max number of losses in a month was 4 or 5, but most months with only 3 losses or less. Yeah, and I agree too, CJ. There's some months where we had like 100% win rate, right? It's been pretty smooth. All right, looks like liquidity here just got hit, or it's going to get hit. Thanks for Sheeta for the heads up. Yeah, Nicholas said, given the negative risk reward and high win rate strategies, have you ever considered splitting 20 accounts into 2 or more and rotating the trading days on them? Seems like a slower way to make profit, but probably impossible to lose the accounts. So when I get funded on all these 300K accounts, I'm actually going to take a really, really small, well, not a really small contract size, but like half of what I'm taking now. So I'm basically going to make it impossible. So it's kind of like the same concept, except I'm just going to be taking a lot smaller contracts on, and that's like one of the problems that I did with the breakout V3. So with the breakout V3, what happened was I kept adjusting my contract size. For me here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a smaller contract size, like maybe a 10 contract. So if I'm taking a 10 contract, let me just see real quick. Where's my calculator? Okay, so if I take a 10 contract, because my max drawdown for 300K is 7,500. So 10 contract times 5 times 25, right? My risk on that's going to be, I'm probably going to take less than a 10 contract, honestly. So 7,500 divided by, this will give me 6 opportunities to lose. I'll probably take something even smaller than that. So I'll probably take like maybe even 8 contracts. So 8 times 5 times 25, that's 1,000. So 7,500 divided by 1,000. So that gives me about 7.5 attempts to lose, which I think is very unlikely for these scalps because, like what CJ said, each month there's maybe like 3 to 5 losses. And most of the time it's even less. So in a month's time, as long as we have a couple of wins, it's going to balance out. So that's kind of like what I would end up doing anyways. I would just take something small. I mean, yeah, my profits are going to be a lot smaller. So like say, for example, I'm doing, like I said, 8 contracts, right? 8 times 5 times 10. I'm making 400 per account. Not a huge amount, but say, for example, we take 2 trades a day. So that's 800 a day per account, and then times 20 accounts, that's still 16,000. So it adds up. So I'm okay with that. I could even go even smaller if I want to do 5 contracts, 5 times 10. So say I'll make 250 per account, and then like this right here, say like for example, today we have 3 trades, right? So 3 trades at 750 times 20 accounts, that's still like 15,000. So I'm still, and this is like risking nothing basically, because I'm doing a 5 contract times 5 times 25. I'm only going to be risking 625. My max drawdown is 7,500. So I have like, basically I can take as many trades as I want. And I think this is going to be my game plan moving forward because I don't want to blow my accounts again. Like this time, I'm going to be really smart about my trades, and I'm not going to mess up my PAs this time around once it comes time for it. Yeah, no, I'm calculating it for these specific entries. So yeah, so if you guys want to know the calculation, it's not very difficult. Like depending on what contract size you want to do, like say for example, you want to take like for right now, I'm taking a 20 contract because I'm just trying to pass my accounts as quick as possible. So you do the number of contracts. This is the equation. So 20 contracts times the value of each point, which is $5 per YM point times whatever your stop loss is or whatever your TP is. So 20 times 5 times 25, that's how much risk I'm taking per trade. And then per trade, every time I take a trade, 20 times 5 times 10, because I'm going for 10 points, I'm making 1,000. So the reason I'm doing this is because I need 20,000 to pass, right? 20,000 to pass my 300K. And so it's on an average, we'll probably have like 2 entries a day, right? So 1,000 times 2, I'll make 2,000 a day basically. I need 20,000 to pass these evals divided by 2,000. I only need 10 winning days. So if I have 10 winning trading days, which is probably going to happen within from now until the end of the month, I already have 2 winning trading days, I think, already. So with that said, I'll probably have my goal, or I'll probably be past with these evals by then. But I'm only taking this risk during the eval phase because I'm trying to pass as soon as possible. Because right now it's half off resets, so I can take extraordinary risk because if I need to reset it by the end of the month, then I'm cool, not a big deal. And then I'll just take it easy from there. So you just gotta you gotta play your strengths and understand your weaknesses. Weaknesses here is kind of just being FOMO, getting FOMO and revenge trading and stuff like that. But for me, I think I should be pretty decently fine with that. When you're trading these kind of scalps, guys, you guys got to keep in mind that I mean, your biggest worst enemy is going to be FOMO, revenge trading, and over trading. Those are going to be your main things. For me, my main goal is to make 1 or 2 trades a day, 1 or 2 winning trades. And if I lose 1 trade, I'm done for the day. So I pretty much cut myself off and I make it basically impossible for me to blow my accounts. Well, not impossible. I would never say impossible. That's a over realization of like what will really happen. Because if you guys think that way, if you think it's impossible to blow your account, trust me, you'll blow your account. Because I thought it was impossible and I blew my accounts. And it was a tough pill to swallow because I haven't blown an account in a long time. Yeah, I don't even remember the last time I failed or I blew a funded account. It's just the Apex I got too greedy. Got too greedy, saw too much profit potential, and I just started taking dumb trades, over leveraging. Now I'm gonna be smart second time around. So let's see, it's not looking like we're gonna get many entries coming up here because we have a sell signal already, as you guys can see. So we have a sell signal. The momentum pullback scalp already came up, so there's not going to be another momentum pullback scalp until we have another buy signal. Also on top of that, there's not going to be a breakout V3 continuation because you already had one here as well. The only thing we can really look for here would be a CV entry. 735, you guys know my cutoff is around 740. So I'll keep looking for entries from now until then, but it's not really looking like we're going to get anything here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you guys have. The ATR right now is currently dying down. It went from 29 to 22 to 20 to now 19. And you can see that the volatility is starting to get lower and lower as we get closer to 740. The reason why I stopped trading at 740 is because this is where the volatility gets really low and you start to see a very sideways movement from here. And that's typically where I tend to lose trades. The reason I know that is because I looked at my spreadsheet from 2023, and I'm like, okay, when do I lose trades? I lose trades pretty much closer to the 740 mark, right? If I look over here, I'm like, okay, my loss was at 740. My loss was at 816. Went over 8 o'clock. This is where I started to make changes. You can see over here in April. So April of last year, we had 17 wins and 2 losses. We had a 89.5% win rate. The loss that I took here was at 746 and one here at 6,452. There's only 2 losses for April. For May last year, we had 100% win ratio. Every month we had like close to a 90% to 100% win ratio. So got to stick to the game plan. And my game plan here is to take 1 or 2 trades. If I ever lose the trade, I'm done for the day. And cutoff is at 740 for my trades here because I typically get caught in consolidation right there. Let's see. Nicholas said on a PA account, you have a minimum of 10 trading days, right? You need to take trades. Yes, that's correct. And yeah, you can do what Nick said. So like what Nick said over here, that you can open 1 micro and then just get in and out quickly. So like on certain days, like where you, I mean, I probably wouldn't even force it. That would just be over trading at that point, right? So for me personally, I probably wouldn't even force it. I mean, I thought about that at one point, Nick, to take like 1 contract and then just like count it as a day. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like you're FOMOing or you're kind of over trading or you're just kind of forcing a trade. Gotcha. Okay. Thanks, Nick. I didn't even know that. So Nick said that they monitor and they frown upon it. They refer to it as gaming the system. Yeah. So Apex isn't dumb, guys. Apex still wants you to fail. Just keep that in mind, right? Um, the thing with Apex is that so I talked to a couple other people who like own prop firms and who run prop firms and stuff like that, and they had a discussion with Apex because they're just kind of curious about like their criteria. Like what Apex does is they try to turn you as a trader. They give you that like I didn't realize there was that 10-day trading requirement initially, but they do that because they want you to feel FOMO. They want you to think that you need to take 10 trades. Um, like they really want you to keep going because the more that you trade, the higher risk it is, right? Because you can blow your account at any time. Like you're taking trades like every single day. So like for me, I just want to be I want to be more accurate and more consistent with only taking high quality trades. Like for example, today was a perfect day. Everything lined up perfect, right? We had an MPS, we had a breakout V3 continuation, and we had a CB entry. At this point right here, I probably would have called it a day because this is like a grand slam type of day, right? Yeah, like 3 base hits, home run. You're good. Um, yeah, that's kind of what happened here. It was like a 2 base hit and then a home run here for the CB entry. At that point, it's like, why would you keep trading? You know, if you trade more than that, you're probably gonna lose. So you just have to think of it as I like to think of it as baseball, right? I take these base hits and then I just try to go for that one home run, 1 or 2 home runs, and I'm good. Even if one home run is good enough. Um, because you got to think about it. One loss here, like one strikeout or one out is technically 2 trades. So it's kind of you're taking that risk. You have 2 base hits here, and then you have your home run. If you get 2 base hits here and you lose, then you're going to be slightly in the negative. You're going to be -5 points. So you just and everyone's kind of different. You know, everyone's psychology moves a little differently. Um, and it's just that's just how I see the game for the most part. Yeah, exactly. Nick said they do not want traders that are going to take huge profit in one day and take micro the rest. Yeah, because they don't want people to get lucky. Nick said they want consistent traders, but yes, also a double-edged sword, like Sean says, it takes advantage of an individual's psychology. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're trying to do too, because so like what Nick just said earlier, they don't want people to get lucky. Like they don't want people to just trade news, get lucky on a huge move, and then try to take like mini contracts and then try to get a payout, right? They want people who are consistent because they don't want to be copying people's trades when they're not consistent and they end up blowing their actual accounts. Let's see. Nicholas said, I wonder if people spend more money on Apex versus regular props with the 80% off. I think it depends on the person. For me personally, I think I spend a lot less because each account for FTMO, I think FTMO for a 200K account, it's like how much is a 200K account in FTMO? I can't even check because they don't sell accounts to US clients anymore. I think it's like close to 2,000. It's like it's pretty expensive. Here, let me see. Let's pull it up real quick. Don't worry, guys, there's no entries available. Here, I'm gonna pull up FTMO real quick. Let me just see how much they charge. Because it's expensive. Okay, so they have a price here. So it's 180 euros. That's about like 1,300 US dollars. So if you're gonna do two 200K accounts, well, we'll say about 1,300 times two, right? So you're paying about 2,600 for 400K. And then if you want to do 20 accounts, so for with a discount, I think it's 137 times 20. You're paying like a little like $100 more for way more. So you're only getting 400,000 in funding here or 400K account. But if you're doing a 300K account times 20, you're getting like 6 million for a little bit more. Um, so you're getting like if you're not planning on taking it, if you plan on passing the challenge within like a month or two, you're going to be getting more bang for your buck. But then again, like, the criteria is different. So like if you trade the way that we do, I think you'll be perfectly fine because you're gonna just be getting in and out pretty quickly with the scalps and not get caught with like their trailing drawdown rule. But with FTMO, they give you like there's more leeway. So there's like pros and cons to both of them. I think depending on the trader, if you're a swing trader and you want to do FTMO, then yeah, it's gonna be cheaper because you could just take forever to pass the challenge. But with Apex, it kind of forces you to pass it within like a month or two, or else you're gonna get charged another fee. So yeah, I mean, it's like slightly different. Yeah, see, Kenny said that's why I can't take negative risk toward trades anymore because it messes with my psychology when I lose. I'd only take the ones you take so I can take the trades mindlessly. Yeah, and when I agree with you too, Kenny, negative risk reward strategies and trades are not for everybody, right? They're good for me because I have the discipline to not overtrade. Like with what Kenny said, if you take a negative risk reward strategy and you lose, the odds of you revenge trading are like super high, right? Because you probably got stopped out of that trade and it was like a random, like you weren't even expecting it to stop you out. It was just a random spike and it stopped you out and you get pissed off and you want a revenge trade. So, I feel I feel Kenny on that. It's a double-edged sword. If you can yeah, exactly. Nick said for him, it's like loss equals log off. And for me, like for me and him, we can do that, but not for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't able to just close out their computer. They just want to keep going and then they end up blowing their account. So, all right, guys, it's getting closer to 8 o'clock. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We have some team profits over here. We have Andreas with a total profit of 2,600 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Andreas. Solid profit right there. He had crazy slippage too. We have Drew over here, total profit of 2,500 and then 1,000 on the other account. So he has well over 20,000 for the day and well over, let's see, like 40,000 for the week, more than 40,000. Nice work, Drew. We got Casey over here. He said lost all his PA counts and bringing this challenge back up. He's now up 5K in total. So 1,000 for the day and he's up 5,000 in total. Nice work, Casey. Yeah, it's all good. We can't, like, I think it's better that we eat the loss early on and we can just bounce back from it, especially for me because I wanted to get 300K accounts anyway. So I think this is my excuse to just flush out all of my 150K accounts and just get all 300K. We have Maria over here. She said finish the week in profit, but still in evaluation. She locked in a total profit of 340 per account. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accounts. So 5 times 3, she made about 1,500 for the day. Nice work, Maria. We have Nikki here as well. Total profit of 400 per account. She does about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. She has 14 accounts. So we're going to say well over, we'll say about like 4,000 for the day. Nice work, Nikki. And I think that's about it. Maria's asking, how do you set your weekly P&L? To set your weekly P&L, you just have to go to your account chart and then I think right click on your top tabs, go to properties. I forgot how to do this. Yeah, honestly, I forgot how to do it, Maria. But there's if you go to your settings, you can set it up there. I'm trying to figure out where I did it. I think you just have to go to your properties. So you go to your Ninja Trader on the top where it has your total P&L. I think you can just like right click on it and then you can go to properties. And then you can enable like which ones that you want on there. We have some more profits over here from Cam. Cam locking the total profit of well over 2,300 for the day. Nice work, Cam. Yeah, Cam, so let's get these PAs back. Yeah, I mean, soon enough. We'll get there soon enough. So here are my profits for the day so far, or for the day in total. So I made 300 times 19 plus 1,000. So 6,700 for the day. For the week, let's see, I'll start from the bottom. 5, 11, 5, 5. And I hate with all the slippage because the slippage, I, I mean, I have to like add everything up kind of individually, but it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm glad we're in profit and we're back on track. The past couple of weeks have been kind of rough, guys. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been talking to like a lot of other traders and like a lot of other YouTubers too. And a lot of people actually blew their PA accounts over the past 3 weeks. So we're not alone. Just I think that's a good thing that we're not alone. And this I'm glad this mess we're kind of out of this hole right now for now and hopefully make our way back up. So for the day, I'm up 6,700. And then for the week, I'm up 22,800. All right, so there goes my profits for the day and the week so far. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think this will be thanks, Johnny. Cool. So Johnny gave us some tickets over here for the Grand Prix. Nice. Choose Friday, general admission, 2 tickets. Where's it at? Right here. Let's see, where's the code at? Where'd you put the code at, Johnny? Oh, Hilton 38. Okay. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I'm gonna add that over here. Cool. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. All right, so let me see if there's any other questions here before we wrap it up. Don't worry, guys, there's no entries that came up. I know we kind of went off topic for a bit, but there's just nothing here. As you guys can see, there's no highs that came up, so there's no CB entries that could have showed up from now since 740. Yeah, CJ said, I'm glad we weren't alone. This market's been brutal. Yeah, it's been a mess. It's been a mess for pretty much everyone, it seems like. Here, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. And I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Again, like I said last week, guys, we're going to have our mentoring session on Monday. I'm going to try to make it, we'll try to do it more than once a month. I'll just see what my schedule is looking like. So I'm busy studying for that futures exam. So I'm just a little busy right now, but I'll try to have it a little more than once a month. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. There's no other entries here available. So if you guys don't have to trade, which I'm pretty sure majority of you guys don't have to, I would just call it a week. We ended this week pretty good, and there's a lot of wins that came up. I missed a lot of trades. I locked in decent profit, but it could have been a lot more if I didn't miss like the 2 trades from today. Then also, if this trade was a full TP, because it was supposed to be 1,000, I locked in 300, but it's okay. I'm not going to complain about it. It's going to take it as is, and I'm going to keep building these accounts until we get closer and closer to our goal of all refunded accounts again. So we got Johnny over here with some profits. Johnny locked in a total profit of 1,300 or 1,135 per account. He has 4 accounts here, so well over 4,000 for the day. It's a great day. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Be safe. And I will see you guys back here on Monday for Market Open.